Shalom. All praise to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone that rule well, enabling the word and doctrine. Shalom and in peace. May that be into the elect of the nation of Israel. So in James chapter 1, start at verse 19, and just be a flow in the spirit. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High." Right, so man's wrath, it's not on the level of the wrath of the Lord. It's not on the level of the righteousness of the Lord. Right, so even when there is necessary anger, necessary indignation, meaning righteous anger or righteous wrath, it talks about how the Heavenly Father is going to have to put the Spirit on the Israelites to do according to His anger. So even Jake's anger is not good enough. So if you're going to do it properly. So we're given clear outlines, guidelines. And it's swift to hear. So you're listening, you're diligent with it. You're not okay, hold on, but what about, you're taking time with it. It's not a, anyway. Swift to hear, slow to speak. Right, so it means you have to take time, you have to consider what you're saying before you've said it. Right, not a spur of the moment, just reactionary. Think as many things can be said can be said in the heat of the moment and regretted. And that's not something to do lightly. Right, we have to be calculated with everything, but especially the tongue. It talks about in James the 3rd chapter, or is it the 5th chapter? It's in the book of James that a man can tame a big ox, a big cow, all these massive creatures that seem untamable, or giant beasts. They've got the ability to kill a man in one swoop of their claws or whatever. Yeah, a man can tame that, but we can't tame our tongue. And that's crazy. So it's something to work for. It talks about, you have to balance it again. It says, who is he that has not slipped in his speech? It shouldn't be something that we're aiming to do. It should be something we're trying our utmost to avoid. Right, so verse 21. "Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness." And naughty in this connotation, at least in England, I'd say naughty is like, it's like cheeky. It's a bit naughty. So others say a white lie, or it's like a child that drew on the wall by accident. Oh, that's naughty. It's not. It doesn't have the connotation of something, a grave evil. But naughtiness does mean, it means wickedness. And that's why studying words as well is very important, as we often mention. Right, "Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls." So this is how we ought to become as babes again. Right, subject. It talks about being subject to the elders, but it also says subject one to another. Right, so we have to know how to balance that. Verse 22, James 1. "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves." Right, so don't just talk, "Oh, Jake, you know how Jake's like. Jake. And then you're doing the same shit as Jake. Now, Apostle Paul spoke about it, him that says, "Thou should not commit adultery. Do you commit adultery?" Paraphrasing. Him that says, "Do not steal. Do you steal?" So on and so forth. So we have to practice what we preach, in the truest sense of the term. I'll be right back, BRB. James 1 and 23. "For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was." Right, so that's that's turning up. Jake's doing this, Jake's doing that. You're Jake, you're being Jake. Now obviously Jake means Jacob. So we're all Jakes, we're all the Israelites. When we get on the Jake man, the Israelite man, you know, you can't be doing that shit. Right? That's called a hypocrite. Right, Jake, you be doing this, you be doing that. You're doing this, you're doing that. You know, so we have to have integrity about it. Not just, alright, we're on fire at camp, then the rest of the week is just, you know, back to being a ninja. You understand what I mean by that? Back to being a Jake in the world. And we can't be doing that. We have to maintain good works. Maintain a pattern of good works as well. Not you do a good work, oh, I'll do the good work this week. Yeah, 2 weeks go past, oh, no good works. Then you do another good work, you know, in 3 weeks' time. Now you need a pattern of it. You need to be consistently doing as the scriptures say. Verse 25, James 1:25, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. Alright, so you're blessed. If you're doing good, you're doing the right thing. You know, what you're saying people should do, you're trying to, well, not trying to, you're applying it, because we all fall short. So we all try and we all strive to keep the whole of the law, but we understand we are going to fall short. You know, so not beating yourself up. Oh, I didn't keep it perfectly, so fuck it, I'm not going to do any of it. That's a poor attitude to have. Yeah, and similarly, you know, well, I slipped up, it didn't really matter because we can't keep the law. No, it does matter. You have to learn to do better. You have to get that, again, that just weight in lifting yourself up and casting yourself down. You don't want to lift yourself up to where you're proud, you know, and you just continue. But you don't want to beat yourself down to the point where you can't get back up. You know, but Yahawashi said, whosoever shall abase himself shall be exalted, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. Right, so that's something we have to bear in mind. This isn't our time for, you know, glory in that sense. What we do is we glory in the Heavenly Father, in His promise, and in faith. You know, and we do acts of faith. We do acts of faith, but it's not to show men. You know, but men see it, and then they glorify the Father. But what is our primary purpose? Our primary purpose is to please the Heavenly Father. That's some horrible parking right there. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it there. I've reached my destination. I pray that was edifying. Next video, Lord willing. Shalom.